This podcast is sponsored by Powers of 10. Powers of 10 is a streetwear brand taking over the scene with the brand new hoodies, hat and trackies. Boom. And also this podcast is sponsored by the Scaffolding Services Limited. Scaffolding Services Limited are a scaffolding service that are based in the Northwest. No job too big, no job too small. Boom. What's happening, people? It's Merlin. This is the MMA show. I'm joined by Jack Dunny. And I'm joined by Paul Pods.
Easy.
Paul Pace. And so today we're going to be discussing who is the GOAT of each weight class. Basically in like a Champions League, World Cup type format, last 16 knockouts. And we're going to get each guest to pick out a number. Each number represents a fighter, and then we're going to discuss who wins. So let's start. So Paul, give me two numbers.
How many numbers have I got to pick
So you
from?
got two numbers out of 16.
Right, we'll go 12 and 2.
Ooh.
Who have we got?
We've got Cowboy versus Connor.
I mean, I think that's a given, Connor. Absolutely.
We're talking in the prime. Every
prime.
fighter. So in this, like everyone, it's all it's present and past. Everyone's in the prime. So we're talking about a prime Cowboy, you know.
Okay, maybe if not 40 seconds, maybe 2 minutes 40 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't, mate. Especially if you're talking about prime Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor against Eddie Alvarez against the best Cowboy, no chance. I don't think he's got any chance.
So what do you agree?
Yeah, that's to say Cowboy, like.
Cowboy?
No, not Cowboy,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. I feel like anywhere that goes.
Nah,
anywhere that goes, you know what I mean?
A prime Connor. We're going to be doing lightweight, by the way. Yes, so prime Connor and lightweight, beast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Proper beast.
I mean, Conor got into his head even being nice to him.
Yeah.
Like, Cowboy just lost that fight before he was even in the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, though, isn't he, Cowboy?
Yeah.
Did you see them shoulder strikes that Conor was throwing?
Yeah.
Broke his nose in the first couple of fucking
Different,
shoulder
innit?
Yeah,
strikes.
they're lethal, them.
Yeah. In the clinch as well, in the cage. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so...
That's like the first time, that was like the first time I seen that personally.
Yeah.
Shoulder strikes getting through.
Yeah.
And
That's the first time I've ever seen it. I thought it's like, this is proper fucking...
Yeah.
It unique, innit? You do you know what I mean? Thinking with your head.
Yeah.
Finished him with a signature Cowboy head kick as well.
Yeah. So first round goes to Connor.
Yeah.
Connor goes through. So, Dunny, you picked two more numbers.
13 and 6.
So 13, we have BJ Penn versus Clay.
Clay Guida.
Yeah.
Oh.
So don't forget these are in the primes as well, boys.
That's a good fight.
Oh.
I'll let you go first on this one.
I don't know. I feel like BJ Penn's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
As soon as that hits the deck, like Clay Guida's, he's game. He's probably might have the wrestling edge as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like if Clay Guida took him down, he'd be taking him down to get subbed.
To be in trouble, yeah. It'd be like a similar story to like.
I just feel like
Charles.
BJ Penn I just feel like his jiu-jitsu is too good for Clay Guida.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like because of a lot of new age fans, especially in the sport, I think people forget how good BJ Penn actually was.
Yeah.
Like, he was a pioneer of MMA.
He's
Pioneer of MMA.
He's one of the goats, in you know what I mean?
I think, like you said, even I think on his feet, I think it'd give Clay a good fight. But yeah, I couldn't see anything other than a BJ.
Yeah,
Penn.
as you say, I'd like to see this fight even standing up. I think it'd be a belter. I think BJ would actually like be alright standing up as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With him, but as you say, he probably would have the grappling and the wrestling, but it's no good when the guy on the ground's an animal. You know what I mean? So yeah, like. So
Mate, how good was the Clay Guida Diego Sanchez fight, by the way, that first round?
Oh yeah.
See, this is what I'm saying, boys. You got to remember these types of fights, boys.
That's one for the history books, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like the greatest first round I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever.
But we're going off actual primes. We've got to go BJ.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
boys.
It's
So
gotta be.
yeah, we know who's next for the. So Paul, I'll get you to pick the next two numbers for me, brother.
Right, we'll go 7 and 6. What did you say? 6?
I said 6. I think.
7 and 8.
Ooh. So we've got Blonde Charles Oliveira, versus Anthony Pettis.
Oh yeah,
All in primes. Yeah.
Primes.
Oliveira eats him alive.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
It's over there for Pettis. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that we're not talking about this list, but Oliveira against Makhachev. What do you guys think?
I love Oliveira. Oliveira is my favorite UFC fighter, I think, ever. Like,
Yeah.
I just love his style. I feel like I can relate to his style as well.
But let's be honest,
So-
boys. Like, would he get slept by Pettis? Do you not reckon? Pettis' striking was fucking elite. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, when Charles gets damaged, he goes on his
Yeah.
back because he knows that that's where his safe spot
Yeah.
is. You've come on top of him. You know, as I say, Islam. Are you sure you want to wrestle with the kid? Because you sure you want to take him down? Are you sure? You know what I mean? Fucking hell. But now, like, I actually think Pettis could out, like, you know, like with the striking and stuff like that. And
I don't know. I feel like anywhere that fight goes, Oliveira's got the better of Pettis. Even though Pettis is a good striker.
I feel like Pettis. I don't know. I don't feel it. I just don't feel like Pettis is prime and Oliveira now, because this is probably Oliveira's prime, isn't it?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just don't feel it. After seeing like how Oliveira dealt with Gaethje on the feet,
Yeah.
because Gaethje's like,
Yeah, he's an animal. Isn't he?
yeah, like Pettis he's good. He's quite what's the word for it? He likes
Yeah,
showboaty.
yeah.
Throw spin kicks and stuff like that.
Show,
but
yeah, show both.
I feel like if it just went for technique, went in a fight, I think Oliveira's taking that. Like,
Yeah.
Anywhere it goes as
Yeah,
well.
anywhere
Anywhere
it
it goes. And I think back to the Makhachev fight, I think even if like people are talking about Makhachev as if he's this fucking god, mate, that's untouchable.
Yeah.
But I feel like obviously it will be a close fight. But I think even if he gets the takedowns, like again, mate, Oliveira's dangerous off his back.
if someone is like the style like Makhachev, Khabib, if someone is gonna beat them, it's Oliveira.
Yeah, it
His
is.
style, because they're like, if they get him down, like they're not
You
safe
can't
at
leave
any point.
anything. You
know
can't
what I
like
mean?
leave an arm
Yeah.
out because he'll just
Yeah.
get it and you just fuck
Yeah,
it.
if he gets older, yeah, and he is able to work his game on you, he's gonna submit you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many 5-round fights has Makhachev had? Don't think it's that many. Won't be as many as.
I think maybe even
Yeah,
one,
one.
maybe the
Yeah.
hooker.
Was
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
if you think about it, boys,
I know
usually
his main
actually
event was
4-6-4,
Bobby
no
Green
one.
as
He's
well.
just gone and
Yeah.
skipped into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so what? We're all agreeing. Charles, I agree with you, boys. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bronx.
If it would have went to the ground, Charles, like, well, yeah, I think it would have been a good. You know, there is a chance, slight chance that Pettis probably
Would
would
have
have
been
one of
would
those
have been like a
Showtime
boss
kicks.
fight to see.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you would have loved to see
Would
it.
have,
Like,
yeah. So Charles goes through. So don't give me another two numbers.
11 and 4.
11 is Justin Gaethje versus Barboza. That would be
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood in that fight, let's be
Yeah.
honest, boys. Fucking a
Well,
lot
again,
of blood.
I feel like Barboza wasn't too far away from his prime when he fought Gaethje.
Did he fought before?
Yeah.
Didn't
Gaethje
realise.
Gaethje knocked him out. I don't know whether it was a first or a second round, but Gaethje did finish him.
Did he? Yeah.
Barboza's a six striker, unbelievable. But again, I just go to the Gaethje fight. If he knocked him out, I think probably this would be the same result.
Yeah.
As technical as Barboza is, because when you're fighting at the highest level, you know what I mean, everyone's technical.
Yeah.
I just feel like his main attribute is power for Barboza, I'd say.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I feel like Gaethje he's known for being game and stuff like that.
But he
I
is
feel-
technical as well.
Yeah,
He
that's what I mean.
And it's also Gaethje's pace that he puts on people.
Yeah.
Like his pressure just
gets in your
non-stop.
face and just fucking
Could Barboza keep up? These fights are these fights 3 rounds or 5 rounds that we're talking?
go 5 rounds,
Yeah,
whatever,
that
yeah.
change the answers.
I think 5 rounds that might even favour Barboza, to be honest.
Do you think?
If he survives.
Because Gaethje's just the type of person. Well, I mean, apart from the Ferguson fight, at least, like if you look at Gaethje, he does kind of go all out.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Like he's a 3-round fighter, I'd say. Like
Yeah.
if you look at his fight with Poirier, as the rounds got on, it was a 4th round finish, I believe, for Poirier. Gaethje was just done by the 4th
Yeah.
round because he just basically emptied the tank.
That's
Yeah,
it.
he's 100%.
That's it, every punch.
But those first 3 rounds, fucking hell, Gaethje's a hard person to
Yeah.
get past, mate.
Yeah. So what are we going with then, boys?
Gaethje or Barboza?
I'm gonna say Gaethje just because
Yeah.
Gaethje's beaten before.
Yeah, I agree, Gaethje.
Gaethje.
I'm gonna have to say
Okay,
Gaethje.
so we're going to go Gaethje. Paul, give me another 2 numbers, please, brother.
We'll go 1. Has 1 been picked?
No, one hasn't been picked.
Okay, 1 and 10.
So we've got Dustin Poirier versus RDA.
Oof. That's a hard one, I think.
Yeah.
Poirier is an unbelievable fighter, but he's never won a belt.
That's it.
Obviously, he's won the interim belt against Holloway, who steps up. RDA, I don't know, 5 rounds. I think that's a close fight in their prime.
See, this is what it's good for, boys. This is the ones like we've had the easy ones where we think, we just walk right through these. This is the ones where we've got to think.
It's difficult. Obviously, Poirier's got the punch power.
That's it, yeah.
Punch power. He's got the punch power.
And them like kicks as well.
Yeah, mate. Poirier's got some but mate, Dos Anjos, he's a pit bull, bro.
Yeah.
He's a silly fighter. I would have liked to see Dos Anjos fight McGregor when it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
Because they were both at, almost their prime.
Yeah, I was probably in the prime, probably.
Dos Anjos' fight IQ is through the roof as well.
What do you reckon, Dun?
Yeah, both in the prime. I might have say Dos Anjos.
Yeah.
Just because all round and heart as well.
Yeah, that's what he was doing, yeah.
You know what I mean? I just feel like in the prime, so that I think he'll just be a bit too much for Poirier.
Yeah.
All round, I think. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the fact that even that he got to get the belt, Poirier, as good of a fighter as he is, he's just never quite done it.
Yeah.
So I'd agree there. Rafael Dos Anjos.
The belt alone proves it, doesn't it?
I mean, because obviously, like people, you can still credit the interim belt that he won because he fought Holloway when Holloway was on a good streak as well. He was undefeated. Well, not undefeated at featherweight, but he was on that long run in featherweight when he beat him. But Holloway's not a 155er.
Holloway?
Yeah.
Nah.
So that fight was always going to favour Poirier, and Poirier's beaten Holloway before anyway. So
yeah, Holloway's a featherweight, isn't he? He's not big enough for lightweight, like.
And it's weird because Holloway, he's big, like in terms of his size, like and his height and his reach, like he's big for featherweight, but he's not even a big featherweight.
Nah, and
like he's got a skinny frame
and his power as well. He's not even.
He's a volume striker. He's not really. Yeah.
He's not even powerful for the featherweight. Never mind the lightweight. You know what I mean?
Nah, he's not powerful. He's just pure technique,
yeah,
innit?
He is, yeah.
He's fucking. I proper like Max Holloway. Me like. So who picked the last numbers?
I did. So
yeah.
Dump,
another 2 numbers, please, brother. Do you want me to tell you the numbers that are left?
Yeah.
So we've got 3. We've got 9. We've got 14, 15, and 16.
3 and 16.
3 and 16. We've got Henderson versus Tony Ferguson.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm just going to say Tony.
Yeah.
I have to say Tony there. Like, just, if they're in the primes, I just feel like...
The boogeyman.
Yeah.
Tony.
It's
Tony by Dars. In his prime.
Yeah. Do you know, I think, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, it's just sad to see his declining his boys. Like,
Who, Tony?
Yeah, Tony's, yeah.
He's taken a lot of damage.
Yeah, exactly.
In his life. I feel like he's aged about 10 years in the last 2 years.
You can see it as well, can't you?
Yeah, that Chandler knockout, that takes years off your life. Like, that's like silly.
I was quite surprised that when he returned so quick.
Yeah.
After,
I know,
after
4
that.
months.
Yeah.
That's like...
Yeah.
Because I was expecting jaws to be shattered.
Yeah,
and all
after
that,
a knockout like
kick.
that, you need 4 months off training. Never mind 4 months
Yeah.
you're back in the gym. You know what I mean?
Hell, I'll be still in the shower like that.
Yeah.
I think Benson Henson would give him a good fight though in his prime. I mean, even if you look at how technical Benson Henson still is, he fought Peter Queally, was it last week or the week before in Bellator? And mate, Benson Henson's fight IQ is fucking impressive. His calf kicks are just. He was really the first person that did the calf kicks, or was the first person to show the damage that they could do rather. But yeah, I probably still have to agree. As close as it is, I think Tony Ferguson would still knock that.
Okay. So, Paul, give me another 2 numbers. We've got 5, 9, 14, and 15.
14 and 15.
14 and 15. We've got just left the UFC, Nate Diaz. Yeah. Versus Eddie Alvarez.
Oh, that's a fucking difficult one. Wow.
Who has just left one championship and could be joining back up with the UFC, from what I've heard. Like
Alvarez?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one. Nate Diaz. It's funny because I feel like Nate Diaz's prime was when he fought Conor the 2 times. That was the best Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Because that was also one of the best McGregors. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously McGregor was small, fighting up at a class, but still, you can't discredit what Nate Diaz
He was
did
on a
to
momentum
McGregor.
win, he can't as
Yeah.
well, and he just fucking stopped that in his tracks. Like,
But I think Nate Diaz in his career, he was always like a yo-yo fighter. Like he always was just fighting, having good performances, but then losing. Even though he wasn't maybe getting finished, obviously he's only got finished once or twice, I think. Eddie Alvarez, born killer as well. Bellator champion, came to the UFC, became a champion in the UFC as well. It's a hard one, especially over 5 rounds.
I'm gonna say Alvarez.
Alvarez.
I think so. I think just like Diaz has got, he's got decent boxing, good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I just feel like Eddie Alvarez, I reckon, could get him out of there. I don't know actually, because
You just
like,
can't
No,
kill
I'm going to be argumentative. I'm going to go for Nate Diaz, just because especially if it's a 5-round fight. Eddie Alvarez, again, I think he only went the distance. I think if I'm trying to remember what that reporter said in that press conference, but he only went the distance a couple of times and lost one of them. Nate Diaz is a 5-round fighter.
That's it. He just rides the storm.
Nate Diaz comes alive, doesn't he, in the fourth?
That's it.
Exactly,
That's
fourth
it,
and
yeah.
fifth.
Yeah.
You could see Nate Diaz. I mean, look what he did to Leon Edwards in the last minute.
Yeah,
but it could.
Fight,
But
so-
this is what we're saying. It could just be like a Leon. But like when we're talking primes, he wasn't the same fighter when he fought Conor. He wasn't the same fighter he was when he fought Leon, was he? You know what I mean? Because you could just be like a Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz again, couldn't it? With Alvarez, you know what I mean? It could just easily be like that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Nate Diaz beats Eddie Alvarez.
So you're gonna leave it on me then, boys? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on you this way.
All right then. I'm gonna go with. I think he'd win on points. I think Alvarez would be on 1 point. I don't think it would finish him. But I think he just outclass him.
Yeah.
Alvarez will outclass him. Like, so yeah, going Alvarez.
I would agree though. Overall, Eddie Alvarez is probably the better fighter.
Yeah, Alvarez is the better. Like I said, there's a difference between an athlete and a fighter.
Yeah.
Eddie Alvarez is the better athlete, and on the night that could get him the win. But I feel like fighter, when it comes down to heart and stuff like that, and Diaz is the better. Diaz is more of a fighter. Alvarez is more of an athlete.
Yeah.
Just to see
Mate,
who takes it on the night.
If there was no time limits on fights, Nate Diaz would be
Yeah,
world champion.
yeah. It's tons of minutes, mate. He's fucking you up. So the last one is Frankie Edgar versus obviously lightweight in it, Khabib.
Oh, that's that. I mean, Khabib without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Like,
Without a doubt.
I don't even think we have to
Khabib,
talk
like.
about Khabib just yet. I think we'll talk about him in the later rounds. You know what I mean? But,
Khabib's not even a question at the
Yeah.
moment.
Easy.
so Khabib's through. So boys, that's the first round of the knockouts gone. Through to the quarterfinals. So Conor McGregor versus BJ Penn. Who wins that?
It's hard because they're both completely different generations.
Yeah.
But I think McGregor would do it.
Yeah, prime McGregor.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
It's either gonna be prime McGregor, but the only way
With
BJ Penn could win, I feel like the way Diaz beat him.
Yeah.
That's
On
the
the ground,
only,
yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
that's the only way I could see
Yeah.
BJ Penn winning that fight.
Yeah. Taking him on
However, the
ground.
size though, like McGregor compared to BJ
Yeah.
Penn, I just feel like, mate, you just
But
pick
what
him
you
apart.
got to
on the
remember though,
feet.
bro, my man went up weight as well. BJ Penn went up weight, didn't he? You know what I mean? Like, so he's dealt with the bigger boys as well. So I don't think that size of Conor would really deal with him. You know, with real hassle him. You know what I mean?
It's hard though because I think even obviously like probably the execution for BJ Penn to win the fight would be to take it to the ground.
Yeah.
But mate, McGregor's got good takedown defense, even though like he's been taken down, and that is the way to beat McGregor. I think like he's not easy to take down. I mean, he
That is the
did.
route, though, innit?
He got taken down a few times against Mendes, obviously, but that was a fight. You know, he's preparing for Jose Aldo, and then on 10 days' notice, he had to fight a wrestler, completely different style. Still did okay, like still managed to do damage against a wrestler. Got up, finished him in the second round. Against Khabib, whole round stuffed his takedowns. Eddie Alvarez didn't get taken down once. Eddie Alvarez is a pretty good wrestler as well.
Yeah.
Chad Mendes as well. Did you
Yeah. So, yeah, I think McGregor beats BJ Penn.
But where are we saying McGregor's prime is? What two fights would you say?
That's
was
a good
his
question.
prime?
What is it for you? Yeah, what is Conor?
I'd say the Eddie Alvarez fight.
Yeah, I'd say
the best ever McGregor.
Aldo and Alvarez.
Yeah, because like the Aldo, we didn't get to see it. Like, but the Alvarez, we seen like he was lightning.
I think the thing with Aldo is it was just. I mean, all that time built up for the fight, promoting it. He just got into his head so much, and it wasn't even so much that he got into his head. He got into his head so much that he forced him to be so over emotional that he knew he was just going to rush forward with a straight round, and all he had to do was just slip and just brilliant.
How much do you think like that getting into your head has got an effect on the whole on everything? Like, you know, even like when you train in the camp, like, you know what I mean? You probably.
I feel like shit talking can like. It can get like you said with Aldo, it can get in people's heads and it can win. It can be the difference between winning and losing. Yeah. But I also think as well, it can come back on the person who's shit talking as well.
Yeah, it can come back and bite you.
Yeah, because you can be trying to shit talk someone, and then they could be not asked about what you're saying, or they could be giving it back just as good as they're getting it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that could take effect on you. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think as well for some fighters, they probably need to chat shit for themselves to get geared up. Like it might be something that like, okay, well, someone might have to do that just for them to get that confidence out of them. They need to like act like they're the bigger man. It's different for different people, I guess. But you are right. Like sometimes it probably gets you. If you're trying to get to someone and you can tell it's not getting to them, it's going to get to you.
I feel like part of McGregor's prime has a lot to do with how good he was at shit talking at the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? When he was just going for everyone. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because when he's saying nice, that if everything just changed, didn't it?
Yeah, like that, like he was saying, obviously in his in the fight with Poirier, the last one where he broke his ankle, was it? Yeah. He was shit talking for that fight, weren't he? But the fight before that, he weren't. Yeah. But in the lead up to that one where he broke his ankle, he was saying I'm no more Mr. Nice Guy, you know what I mean? So he might.
It felt so forced, didn't it?
Yeah, it was though. When it was like a wrestler, like he was just putting on like a wrestler, like it's bad.
So
but I do think you're right. Like it's kind of you can almost. I mean, I think it's not so bad of a comparison. But when Mike Tyson was fighting, obviously he was fucking incredible. But most of the fighters that he was knocking out were beaten before they were in the ring. Because they were just so shit scared of fucking fighting Mike Tyson. Yeah. Like the aura, like, and that's the thing with McGregor. McGregor's aura wasn't so much. It was like it just get to you. Yeah. Like if you like even the first Poirier fight, it was just in his head massively, and it only took a couple of minutes for him to finish him.
So we're going Conor. Next round we got Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. I think we already know who wins this one, don't we, boys? If you don't know, just fucking type it in on YouTube. You know what I mean? You see what happens. So then we got RDA versus Tony Ferguson. Is this fight already happened? Is that fight?
I think they have fought.
Just check.
I'm pretty sure they have fought.
I'm not too sure, you know. So what? RDA?
I think Ferguson beat him on points. Jamie, pull that up.
Sorry, boys. Do you have a little debate in it?
What are you saying?
I'm saying RDA.
You're saying RDA, yeah?
I'm saying RDA. If it's 5 rounds.
Yeah.
5 rounds RDA, 3 rounds maybe Tony. Yeah. That's what I mean. I think the amount of rounds that they're going to be fighting.
Yeah, it's good.
Plays it.
Well, I think it has to be 5 rounds because we're trying to find out who's the GOAT. I think it has to be 5 rounds done in 5 rounds.
Over 5 rounds. I mean, Ferguson was the boogeyman, but mate,
RDA. Ruthless, and he just come forward, not stop.
Absolutely ruthless.
I feel like RDA is one of them. Like you don't appreciate how good he is. Yeah. Until someone mentions him. Like if someone walked in here now and you said to them, obviously he was into UFC, said to them, right, who's the best lightweight? Who's top 2 lightweights of all time, top 3 lightweights of all time? Yeah. RDA, they wouldn't think of RDA. No. Yeah. You know what I mean? But then when you actually sit down and talk about RDA, put him up against like Tony Ferguson. Yeah.
And I feel like as well, like RDA as an athlete, as a fighter and as a whole, like he did well at 170 as well when he went up.
Yeah.
Like he got to a title shot. Yeah. It's not easy to do that in one weight class, let alone 2. So I agree.
So we're going RDA, yeah?
Yeah, RDA, yeah.
I agree, boys, I agree. So then we got Alvarez versus Khabib. Does this even need debating again? No. Don't think it does, you know what I mean? The big ones at the end, like. So, Conor versus Charles.
Oh, that's a fight, that.
That is a fight. You can see Charles has been calling for it as well because of the money. I don't think. Do you think McGregor's ever going to fight at 155 again? I don't think so.
Nah, I think he's too big now.
I think he's 170.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's achieved it. He's achieved it all, really. Like, mate, people hate on McGregor, right? But what he achieved at the age he did it, you can't even shit on it, mate. Like what he did is goated. The way he changed the sport.
Yeah.
He's like a huge pioneer. Like obviously, like that's why I also make the comparison to Mike Tyson. You look at Mike Tyson, how good he was, and the stardom and the rise that he had. Mate, when you get that much power and influence, and like everyone's telling you you're the best, like you're on top of the world, there's no way you're going to be sane. Like that's not like there's no way you can keep your sanity after that. Like the richest ever MMA fighter that's ever lived, like I said, changed the game. Was the first person to do a crossover fight with boxing. Like no one's really done that. Obviously,
one of the best boxers ever.
And I think because of the last few years of McGregor, people forget how good he actually was. And I think prime McGregor, like if you put that Eddie Alvarez McGregor in there against Oliveira now, I mean, obviously I'm going to be a bit biased because McGregor changed my life. Like he got so many people into the sport, but I just think I could see McGregor chinning him.
So I was hoping we weren't gonna. I was hoping we were gonna get Charles and Khabib final. To be fair, because that's what I was hoping for. But you know what?
I'm gonna I've got to back Oliveira, but I can understand why you'd say McGregor though as well.
Yeah, do you know what though? As we were saying, like when we're talking about Conor's prime, we were saying like that the Alvarez fight where he just looked lightning fast, like and like don't get me wrong, Charles is very technical, but. Bro, he's not that fast. He's not as fast as Conor. You don't see on. I think Conor's boom.
Yeah, I feel like for prime McGregor as well. I feel like he gets hit a lot. I mean, no, for prime Oliveira,
he does get. If
he was fighting McGregor, he gets hit too much to last with prime McGregor. If that makes sense. So, but with Oliveira again, I just feel like when you're watching Oliveira, even if he's getting his head punched in, you're still thinking to yourself like.
He's still in the fight.
Yeah, he could finish this at any moment, you know what I mean? So, but yeah.
And Oliveira would have the reach on him as well, I guess. Have the reach. If it went to the ground, obviously that's the given.
If we goes to the ground, we just know what's going to happen. So, like,
but
again,
like, it depends though, because McGregor, mate, like that Eddie Alvarez fight, that was a legacy fight. First time at MSG, first time to become the first ever two-weight world champion simultaneously. I think if you put anyone in there that night, like the focus, like that was McGregor became a two-weight world champion in Cage Warriors, and whilst he was doing that, he was saying how he was going to become a UFC double champ. I think the amount of drive and the amount of focus he had, especially coming off those two Diaz's fights.
Mystic Mark.
Yeah, Mystic Mark. I don't know.
Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like if you watch him when he puts the fighter down, he rushes in, and I think that would be his biggest mistake. Like if you watch it, every time he's put someone down, boom, straight on him. If you do that with Charles and you haven't put him to sleep, that's when he's and this is what we're saying, and that for that reason for me, because we know if it goes to the ground, it's all over for Conor. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Charles.
That's such a close one.
That is a close one.
The more I'm thinking about it. Like I'm just swaying between them both.
Yeah,
it's hard.
I think Conor could easily sleep him, but if he doesn't and he goes to the ground, it's over, innit?
Well, I know that we're breaking the rules by talking about Khabib, but I even think, and obviously this is the point of the debate, I've got to stir up some shit, but I think even if you put that McGregor fight when he fought Eddie Alvarez against Khabib, obviously, sensibly, you're still going to say Khabib, 100%. However, when McGregor fought Khabib, McGregor was probably sniffing coke, just partying, like wasn't even training properly. And if you look at the fight that he had against Khabib compared to how Khabib did against Poirier or against Gaethje, McGregor probably gave him the hardest fight.
Yeah.
Again, obviously, I'd be a fool to sit here and say that I still think that prime Khabib wouldn't beat McGregor, but I do think it would be a lot of a closer fight.
I think I'd probably obviously want to get into it more in a bit, but I feel like prime McGregor could win that fight.
I think so, mate. Even if you look at
so what are we going? Conor goes through. over Charles.
Just leave me out of it.
But I think like if you look at Khabib's fight with Michael Johnson pieced him up a little bit.
Yeah.
If McGregor, that's what I mean. So if this is why I think that fight that night, no one was going to beat McGregor, because that fight was the fight for him to, like I said, Mystic Mac.
Yeah.
For the stars to align and for the story to be completed. I think if Khabib's in there, he's going to be training as folks. It was the first time he was trying to win the lightweight belt. I don't know. I just feel like McGregor, he's too special, bro. On those big I can't even speak. Those big occasions like that. I don't know.
We've already seen sort of like prime Khabib fight and non-prime McGregor.
Yeah.
And prime McGregor still give him a good go. So that just begs the question: what could prime McGregor do?
Yeah.
To prime Khabib, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like McGregor literally just went into that fight just like thinking, oh yeah, I just want to scrap. Like he wasn't really asked about the training. He was like, I just want to go in there. Yeah. And mate, when he threw the dolly through the
take
boss,
all that
right?
out of occasion, all the dolly stuff.
No, but what I'm saying is like using that as an example. There's no way you're telling me he did that sober. Like he's gotten sniffed up after seeing if he's in that state of mind then, and then he's fighting. Like I just, mate, again, look at what happened to Mike Tyson. He ended up going on a cocaine havoc for years.
Yeah.
Like when you get to there's an element of when you get to that famous, you know, your ego gets involved. By that point as well, McGregor had achieved everything. Like even now, like. There's the only thing that would top what McGregor's achieved right now is winning a belt at welterweight, which is probably not going to happen. So he's achieved everything that he can ever achieve. It's like when Tyson Fury won all the belts after Klitschko.
Yeah.
He went depressed, started sniffing coke, tried to kill himself, or almost tried to kill himself rather.
Hit the limit, didn't he?
When you achieve everything you could have ever achieved, you've got that much money. It's hard to have that drive.
It's so much like what now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like, what do we
100%.
do now? It wouldn't surprise me if Connor's first fight back was Leon, you know. Wouldn't surprise me if he got that fight.
There's so much money in it.
Yeah.
So much money.
It'd be a decent fight as well.
Like, and it's Dana probably wants that fight, to be honest.
And the thing is, even, bro, mate, you take away the rankings, any fighter, if you ask any fighter, especially mate, as a fighter, you think you can beat anyone anyway. So if you think you can beat someone already, and then you're being said, oh, do you want to fight Conor McGregor for the biggest paycheck of your career?
Yeah.
You're going to say yes.
Yeah.
No matter how many fights he's just lost.
100%.
You're going to say yes.
Yeah.
There's no way Leon Edwards is turning down a fight with McGregor.
Yeah.
That in the UK, imagine
Life-changing,
that. Leon Edwards and McGregor at Wembley.
Oh.
That would sell out. That would sell out
In minutes.
in seconds.
Yeah.
In under a
It sold
minute.
out in seconds when for the first one, didn't it?
Yeah.
And the second one, didn't it?
Fucking queued up for hours as well.
Imagine if McGregor and Leon was the...
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
It's telling every English fighter
I-
just on the
get
card
Till
taking
on it.
over.
Get it. Obviously, Paddy,
Everyone.
Marley,
Yeah.
Tom Aspinall. I rate Tom Aspinall so much.
So high.
I think, I honestly think he's he is my favourite heavyweight to watch.
Yeah.
So technical, so crisp. If you
Watch
watch everything,
Settle me.
yeah.
Settle gone so good.
Silligan versus Tom Aspinall.
That's a silly fight.
Yeah.
Silly
That's a
fight.
striking masterclass.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
Like
It's
Tom
all
Aspinall.
technique.
If you look at
I think Tom Aspinall wins that fight.
Yeah. If you
He
look
takes
at
him down.
if you look at Tom Aspinall when he's fighting, like everything he does is so crisp.
Yeah.
Like he's like
Looks light, doesn't he?
yeah, and he's
He
like
moves like a middleweight for
yeah,
heavyweight.
and it's like he sees shots even before the other person's through them.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's like 10 seconds ahead. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway,
I just
boys,
rate him so highly.
right, we need to find out. So I'm going Charles. He's going Connor. Done.
I'm gonna have to go Charles because Charles all the way in it.
Okay, so Charles, it goes through to the final. Right. RDA versus Khabib. Right. This we can debate. I think
Well,
we can.
again, I mean, Khabib did fight RDA and he did beat him.
But in the prime.
If we're talking about lightweight goals, I think the only two people that are in discussion after McGregor, I mean, McGregor's not really a lightweight anyway, but like in terms of pure lightweight goals, it's probably, you're either looking at Oliveira or Khabib
Yeah.
or BJ Penn. But BJ Penn, we've clarified, would lose to both of them in their primes just because of the generation.
Yeah, and MMA's evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But let's be honest, boys, right? I've got some stats here down, yeah. You know what I mean? I come down with stats, boys. You're right. So, Right, Frankie Edgar's beat BJ Penn 3 times. Yeah. He's beaten Charles. Yeah. He's beaten
Frankie Edgar.
Edgar, yeah.
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 It's mad when you put it
Right.
like this, isn't it?
Right.
What?
He's done BJ Penn, right, 3 times. He's done Charles. He's done Mendes. Right. He's done Cub Swanson twice. Right. He's done
Fucking hell, we were disrespecting Frankie Edgar
yeah.
a little bit.
He's done,
Wow.
He's done Yaya Rodriguez. Yeah. He's done Fader. Fucking Uriah Faber.
Yeah.
Faber, yeah.
But again, we're talking
Was
primes.
Faber not lightweight?
No, it would have been featherweight, surely.
But anyway,
Yeah,
that's on his record, you know, too. So,
he beat him.
like, boys, like, in my like that egg, like he's a. Like, and we just overlooked, like, the, you know what I mean? So
I've come to the conclusion we know shit about MMA.
So, like, but like when you look at it like that way, like look at what Khabib's like, you know, and you look at who Khabib's beat. He's beat Conor, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Barboza, and you say RDA.
I mean, those are still pretty good names to be beaten.
Yeah, very convincing way.
But again, like, but we're talking about prime. So even though Frankie Edgar has beat all these guys, he's not beaten them. I mean, maybe apart from obviously BJ Penn, probably fought BJ Penn in the prime. But apart from that, like, you're not telling me Frankie Edgar's fighting Oliveira in his prime. There's no way. Oliveira in his prime is smashing Frankie Edgar.
Got some upset noise, boys.
Go on.
So Sonny Ferguson, he beat Barboza. He beat Pettis, he beat Cowboy, but he's also beat RDA, who we put through to beat him in the last round. But you know what I mean? That might have been a bit years ago, don't wait the police, you know.
Who's that, Ferguson?
Ferguson, yeah. So so basically going off that, RDA's got a few losses, so yeah, we go Khabib. Yeah.
Khabib.
How did he beat RDA? Was it points?
Fuck those, they've just got them down.
What fight you on about? When RDA fought who?
Tony.
Ferguson.
Yeah, I think it was points.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was points.
So Khabib going through to the final with Charles. Right. This is
And just jumping straight into it. Like you were saying before, if there's a style to beat how Makhachev and Khabib fight, Oliveira's got it.
Yeah.
It's a shame that obviously you can understand and respect Khabib's decision to retire for family reasons. His dad died, and
but do you reckon he'd be too strong for him?
I just think, like I said, you take him down, mate. Oliveira's just on his back, bro. Fucking hell. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
It's one of them, innit? Like when Khabib takes people down, he's taking people down to maul them.
Yeah.
With Oliveira, you're taking him down. You're taking him to where he wants to go.
Yeah.
Oliveira's probably, even with Khabib, he'll probably still want to be on the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, I know he wasn't particularly in the worst, but the worst we've seen Khabib on the ground, or the most in danger, you've seen Khabib on the ground was when he fought Dustin Poirier, and Dustin Poirier had him in that guillotine.
Yeah.
Even though it might not have been that close, the fact that Dustin Poirier managed to get to that position, to me, if mate Oliveira's
finishing that.
Yeah, 100%. So, and again on the feet, Oliveira's got him. You know, he's bigger than McGregor, so he'll have bigger reach. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on Khabib because I'm a McGregor fan. Like, Khabib's unreal, but I think perfectly how you said. I think if there's a style to beat the Khabibs and the Makhachevs, it's how Oliveira fights.
So if he beats Islam, do you reckon Khabib will come back?
Oh.
I would love it to, but I don't think so. I think he's happily retired.
Yeah, he's got his own show and that now, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I all feel like that's like a thing in like their sort of culture, though, innit, Paul? You know what I mean? Like, you beat me, little brother, big brother's gonna come and get you on too.
Well, Khabib doesn't seem like the type of person to be influenced by money.
No.
So even though the Oliveira Khabib fight is a huge fight, will make a lot. Like I said, I think he's just happily retired.
Because he's like, well,
he's a fat bastard now, so
yeah,
he's enjoying his food.
Yeah.
So
that's to be at light heavy there.
Dunny, who is the lightweight goat?
Oliveira.
But mate, I even think though, even if you look at the way Khabib had his fights, okay, they were dominant, but the way Oliveira's won his title fights, I think, have been more impressive.
Yeah, and
he's done them in quicker time, done more damage on him.
And like what Oliveira's came from, I'm not even saying like about like where he grew up and that. I'm saying like in the UFC, he went from being someone who everyone doubted.
Yeah,
remember
couldn't
he was
make
like
weight.
He was giving up in fights, couldn't make weight. To look at him now.
Do you know what it all was though? Apparently, it's all because when he had the kid, that his whole his whole life just changed. As soon as he had a kid, he just apparently just given this superpower.
Yeah.
And then since then, now he's just
How many fights is he unbeaten now? Like over 10 now, surely over 10 fights
I think it's
unbeaten.
like 11, 12.
Because Fingo was just off with Wenny, off the record, Wenny, fucking
John Jones.
Usman,
Oh
before
yeah.
fucking
He's
For Leon.
he's got the most submissions in the UFC, hasn't he?
yeah.
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 I thought it was Fingo me, Jim Miller.
No, I think Jim Miller might have like the combined finishes, something like that. But Jim Miller's had the most wins in UFC history.
That's it.
I think even in terms of recency bias, what we're talking about, the upcoming fight against Makhachev, I can see Makhachev getting cold, like knocked out stiff.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. I've got Oliveira in that fight against Makhachev.
Yeah.
And then what next for Oliveira? I think what could happen is I think you could see Volkanovski coming up and fighting Oliveira, which is a close fight. But again, I just don't think, especially the size, I think Volkanovski's too small.
Do you reckon he just put the pace on him though? Like the way he did to Max and he has to literally everyone else.
But again,
he just seems to be getting better
again,
and better though.
Look at what Brian Ortega almost finished him with the guillotine, and obviously that's his signature.
Yeah, but that
submission.
just shows you even more character to fucking to Volk. You know what I mean?
True, but if you're putting Ortega and Oliveira in a grappling match, who's winning that? Oliveira. I think is winning that.
Yeah.
It is
all around.
Bro, they're both black belts. You know what I mean? They're both like that's like their speciality. You know what I mean? The T-City, like you know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. Triangles and chokes. I think mate, Oliveira can do it all.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
can do it all.
I just feel like Oliveira's got the best jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna say the UFC's ever seen, maybe.
Yeah, I'd agree.
For MMA as well.
He makes it so insane, doesn't he?
There's jiu-jitsu for MMA and then there's jiu-jitsu for just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like for MMA, Oliveira, I think I think he's got the best jiu-jitsu we've ever seen.
Yeah. Ever.
Yeah, in the UFC.
So boys, we found out. You agreeing, Charles?
Yeah, Charles Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira is the lightweight goat, boys.
So we've talked about the Oliveira Makhachev. So next, Sterling against TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So, right, little preview of next week's UFC card. So, we've already talked about the Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev. Now we're going to be talking about TJ Dillashaw versus Sterling. Well, what are we thinking, boys? We'll start with you, Paul. So, obviously, some people might not know, but you were out with Sterling.
Yeah, so I was lucky. I got to see Sterling train for a few weeks when he was helping Merab train for his fight against Jose Aldo. Obviously, because of I just seeing how hard he trains, seeing how good he is, seeing him spar, and obviously, even aside from that, just what he's done in the cage so far in his career. The way he finished Corey Sandhagen in a fucking quick time. The way, obviously the first fight against Jan, he was losing that fight. I think everyone can agree on that. But then the second fight,
respect in that second fight.
Second fight, mate, I think he won that fight, even though it was close. I don't think Jan was robbed. I think Sterling won that fight fair and square. Sterling's fought the best of the best. I think people, because of how the first fight with Jan ended and how the knee was, and Sterling doesn't give a fuck about what people think of him really. So I just think how that played out, I think a lot of people maybe turned on him a little bit and maybe forgot again how good he is.
Yeah.
TJ Dillashaw, bantamweight legend, beat the best of the best. But I think his time is
loves the juice though.
Yeah, I think his time is over. I think he's in his towards the end of his career for sure. This could easily be his last title shot. He's still top of the level, but I think even his last fight against Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah,
that was a close fight. I think Corey Sandhagen won that fight, from what I remember at least. But I can just see Sterling taking his back, getting a rear naked.
Yeah, Sandhagen fight. Yeah, decision first round.
Yeah, decision. Was it split or unanimous?
Fuck knows.
I think it might have been split, to be honest.
Then done.
I would have to say same Sterling. Yeah. Just
fighter.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends what Sterling we get, I think.
The age difference is only 3 years, though, boys. Sterling's 33, TJ's 36. But as you say, like, Sterling's been a lot more active, and I think that being active in the UFC is very important. You know what I mean? Like, to be progressing like that.
I've got Sterling.
Yeah, it's got a much better reach. I reckon. Sterling as well. Myself.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be easy.
No, if Sterling grapples, he'll win.
Yeah, that's what I think he'll do.
If he strikes, he's gonna struggle.
So, the quick question: so, like, who do you reckon's a better striker, Jan or TJ?
I was actually in my head. I was thinking that then.
Because that's how you've got to look at it. Like in my head, that's how you've got to look at it. So let's like think about that. Who do you reckon?
I'll probably say TJ Dillishaw's a better striker.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Peter Yan, yeah.
I like Jan. I like Jan a lot. Me, I just think he just comes forward. Like he's like a fucking little hardcore boxer.
Has Jan been knocked out?
I don't think he's been. No, I don't think. I don't think he's been stopped yet.
Because his style, you would think he'd get bingo load.
Yeah,
he's small as well. He's pretty small for bantamweight.
I feel like
Mate, Sterling's a big bantamweight. I'll be honest.
This is gonna
big
sound
135er.
This is gonna sound mad. I think Dillashaw is the better striker, but I feel like if Dillashaw and Jan had a striking fight, I think Jan would win because I think his style against Dillashaw's style is more of an effective style.
Yeah.
But I feel like technically, like Dillashaw is a better striker, and I think he's got more striking knowledge.
Yeah.
He moves better and stuff like that. But I feel like throw them in a K1 fight in a ring.
Yeah, Jan.
I feel like Jan would win.
Yeah, I agree.
Just stop pushing the pace and
So I'm going to say the same thing. I think wrestling's so important nowadays in the UFC, and I think Sterling's up there with like the top five in the when it comes to the wrestling. And I think, you know, as you see like there was rounds where he was literally controlled. Jan, you know what I mean? Jan could not do nothing. Like you're watching, he was hopeless. He couldn't do nothing. He had full control of him when he had the scissor lock around his body. You know, like, he couldn't do nothing about it. So yeah, I'd say if you want to bet, put your money on Sterling. Yeah,
I'm definitely. I think he's the favourite as well going into this.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
So then, you know, we're talking. Jan's never been finished, but you know, there's no fight in the card. He's fighting the Sugar Show, and I think the Sugar Show, this is his perfect fight for Sugar Show. Like, if he's coming forward, let me just check the little stats because, right, do you know what? It's not much difference. It's only a free.
Mate, Sean O'Malley's tall but I've met him in person.
It's a 3 inch. It's only a 3 inch.
5'11".
Mate, I'm 6'4". Yeah, I think he's 6 foot. He's definitely not 5'9".
6 foot for a bantamweight. That's I think I'm around 6 foot. Like 6 foot, 6 foot 1. But
I think honestly, from what I can remember, he was tall, and as much as I would agree stylistically, this probably is a fight that, you know, you'd think might not necessarily favour Sean O'Malley, but it will definitely do him some good. I just can't see anything but a Peter Yan win, to be honest. I think it's too big of a jump for Sean O'Malley. I mean, Sean's got nothing to lose. Everyone kind of expects him to lose, which makes him dangerous.
I've got Yan in the fight. Like,
I think I'll
put a bet on Yan.
Do you know, boys? I honestly think Sean O'Malley, me. I think if he just keeps him at distance and stops him from coming in, knees, elbows, all sorts. It just depends on if Jan wants to take him to the ground as well, because I don't think Sean's got it on the ground, boys. I think he's just more of a striker, isn't he?
I don't know, because Sean O'Malley's last fight ended with the eye poke. Who was it that he fought? It was it wasn't a Sanso. Who was it? I'm not sure who he fought.
Fucking Pedro Munoz.
Oh yeah, it was Pedro Munoz. Yeah. Mate, Pedro Munoz is a good fighter.
Yeah,
and I don't think we really saw enough of that fight to see how Sean O'Malley would do against like top level opposition like that.
Yeah,
I think the last top level guy that you saw him fight properly was Chito Vera.
That's it, Vera. Yeah.
Who was O'Malley's last fight?
Like, it was against Pedro Munoz, but ended with the eye poke.
Not
Pedro Munoz. Sorry, Chito Vera. Mate, that leg kick that he hit O'Malley with was legit.
Yeah.
As much as he might want to, for marketing, be like, "Oh, I'm undefeated, bro," you got banged.
Like, I'm not being.
And like again, I think even now, I think even if you put Chito Vera in with Sean O'Malley, mate, I still think Chito Vera probably wins that fight at this time.
Yeah, I like
as good as Sean O'Malley is. I don't think he's quite championship level yet.
As O'Malley had the 5-rounder.
Yeah,
this isn't 5 rounds.
No, it's a 3-round actually. 3-round probably favors him though.
Yeah. It's
but if you look at who he's fought, boys, like I'm just looking here, like obviously except for the Vera, like he's fought no one really, just a lot of who's. Like obviously before Pedro Munez, but we didn't see nothing in that fight. Like that fight was just no striking, and then the eye poke.
Mate, the bantamweight division is so stacked at the moment. I think even Adrian Yanez, I think he gives O'Malley a hard fight.
I think,
and he's like number ranked 15, I think.
Yeah, I don't think O'Malley's ready for this fight.
No,
I think he needs to fight someone who's actually, obviously he's fought Chito Vera, but I think
he's good though.
Yeah, really? I think he needs to fight someone who's a bit more up the rankings before he moves to PT Yan, because I feel like PT Yan's went 5 rounds.
We're still
He's went 5 rounds. I feel like he could just push a pace on. Since he's fighting 3 rounds, I feel like he could just he could push a pace on O'Malley that maybe not give him no breathing room, and I feel like he might just be able to get it done, maybe even with a finish.
I think Peter Yan's the second hardest fight in the division. Like even the 2 fights, he's fought twice with Sterling, beat him in the first time really, even though obviously the knee was fucking stupid. Second fight, even though he lost, close fight. It wasn't like oh yeah, Sterling closer to that. It was a hard fight. You know, I'm just in full agreement there. I think Sean O'Malley not ready.
No.
So we all agreeing, boys, then? So, well, you two agreeing that.
Lightweight GOAT is Charles Oliveira, and then he's beating Makhachev with a knockout. Sterling's submitting TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah.
And Yan, fuck it, I'll say Yan's going to win on points.
I'm going to say Yan TKO second round.
I'm going to go
all the other results I agree with, and then I'm saying Jan's second round TKO. I want to put an accumulator on that.
Do you know what? Right, don't put your money on this, but I'm going to go first round knockout, Sean O'Malley.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, tell you what, if you pull that off, I'll shake your hand, but I can't see it happening personally.
You know, I'm just going to put it out there, and if it happens, fucking miss it.
I mean, that's probably the most dangerous round for Sean O'Malley, that first round.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Anything after that, PT on.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for coming out, people.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and peace, boys.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Yes, lad.
Thanks, lad.